What's going on, guys? How you doing out there? Welcome to Room 3 Podcast. My name's John Wayne Harrison. I'll be the main guy that's gonna be doing Room 3. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. So get ready, hang on, and I'll only go up until I get out of high school. Promise you. Sorry about this. If it's boring, then you know what? Turn me off. If it's not, listen, it gets pretty cool, man. All right. So, like I said before, my name is John Wayne Harrison. I was born March 23rd, 1972. That makes me 52 years old right now. And when I was about 3 years old, my mother and father split up. They lived here. Both of them lived down south. And my parents split up when I was about 3. And I had an older sister too. But she wasn't my, she's not my blood sister. But she's my older sister. So she's my sister. So my parents split up when I was about 3 years old. My mother, she moved up north to a little town called Livermore, and my dad stayed down here, and he lived in Lakewood. So I got the best of both worlds. I got NorCal during my school year, and then during the summers I'd fly down here south to be with my dad. It worked out pretty good. So I got to go back to my notes. So sorry. Okay. So I was 3 years old when my parents split up. It wasn't hard because I was too young to know, and whatnot. But my mom remarried to a guy named Bill. And he was a Hell's Angel, and he used to race dragsters and stuff. From about 3 years old to about 5 years old, it was hell living with the Hell's Angel. But the only one good thing that came from that relationship between my mother and the Hell's Angel is one time I got to get all geared up in racing gear, and I got to get into his dragster, and they pushed me out right where they start off the dragsters. They pushed me out. I jumped out, this little kid with all the gear on, and I went yee, 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 like that, and the crowd went wild. That's the only good memory I have of that stepdad. He sucked. He used to beat my mother. And one time the last time he beat my mom, I got involved. And he just, basically, I was a little kid, so I got thrown pretty far. And then after he abused me like that, my mom left him. So I'm glad I got involved and stood up to that fucking Hell's Angel when I was younger. 5 years old, brother. Standing up to a Hell's Angel? Fuck it, right? Anyways, enough of that. So my father remarried too, and both of them, well, except my mother. My father married my stepmother. I call her Cito, and she's still my stepmother today. My real dad and my stepmother aren't together anymore, but she's still my stepmother. I call her Cito, my mamacito. So I had 4 loving parents. I had 2 dads and 2 moms. After my mom divorced Hell's Angel, she met a real nice gentleman. His name was Mike. And he was really, really fucking cool. He raised me during the school years. Fuck, it's hot in here. During the school years, and he was a German wrestler and knew a lot of fucking martial arts. So, guess who got beat up a lot? But it was fun. It was for fun. We'd practice on each other and stuff. So, anyways, so she met a gentleman by the name of Mike, married him, and they're still together today. And they're still married today. Man, that makes it like 40-something years they've been married. 45. Fuck, that's a long time, Ma and Dad. Anyways, so after that, now that both my parents are remarried, my mom lives in Livermore and my dad lives in Long Beach, or Lakewood. I mean, sorry, not Long Beach. And every summer I'd go to be with my dad. And when I got the age 9 years old, well, actually, when I turned 6 years old, my dad was a carpenter. So he wanted me to be a carpenter. So he built me a little tool bench and a bench with all the tools on it and shit. And all the real tools were set on the back of the bench, and then or up on the back splash. My dad had all the real tools, the hammers, the wrenches, all that good shit, files, stuff like that. And I practiced with the plastic tools. And then when I was able to pull the tool off, identify it, and use it correctly, I was able to use the real tools. So I started making stuff at a young age. Around 9 years old, my dad took me to his work. He worked at a carpentry shop. It was called Paramount Laminates in the city of Paramount. And at 9 years old, my dad took me to work, 4:30 in the morning. That good old 9 to 5, or not 9 to 5, but 10-hour days, or 8-hour days. I mean, back then they didn't have 10-hour days. And I would push a broom and I would clean up the sawdust all day long in the shop. And I got paid $2.50 an hour to do that. I mean, that was bank when I was 9 years old. $2.50 an hour, 40 hours a week I was working. That was $100 a week I was getting at 9 years old. Fuck yeah, man. That was bank. I got to buy my own shit when I was young. And I don't know how to take a break, but I'm gonna fucking take a chinga. Okay, so my dad would take me to his work, and I'd work with him every summer until I was, let me see where I'm at. So the only time I got to see my dad is if I was working with him. So I enjoyed work. He instilled a good work ethic in me at a young age, and I hold that dearly. If I get a job, I do it. That's just the way I am. And I do an honest day's work for an honest day's pay, right? So anyways, so I was pushing a broom for $2.50 an hour at Paramount Laminates. Well, as I got a little bit older, and when I was at my mom's up north, I would work at her office shredding documents and papers for her company, and I was making good money during the wintertime with my mom after school, And man, I just started working from that point on. I never looked back, man. I got a good work ethic in me now. Hold on. All right, so during middle school, which school was good back then, I got to learn metalworking, plastics, more woodworking, more carpentry work, electrical work, foundry, and all kinds of stuff, plumbing and stuff like that in middle school. And also in high school, they taught very good shit like welding, woodworking, auto shop. They didn't teach electrical that I know of, but it was awesome back then because they actually taught you a trade, something to fall back on in case you didn't go to college, because not everybody's college material. I was never a college material person. My dad started me working real young, so that's just what I wanted to do, is work hard. So I went to Granada High up north, high school, Granada High, for 2 years. And then when I moved here, when I turned 15 years old, I moved in with my dad down here to go to work full time with him and go to school. So I ended up doing my last 2 years of high school at Temecula Valley High. And during that time that I moved down here to be with my dad, I picked up bull riding. I had a couple trainers. I did it for 3 years. I did it from 15 and a half, 16, 17, and 18. Plus I worked, and plus I went to school. So I was always busy doing something. And the beach. Don't forget the beach. I love the fucking beach, bro. I spent 176 days of my senior year at the beach. Don't know how I got away with that one, but I did. So anyways, so I moved down here to be with my dad. And, when you're growing up and you're expected to be a man at a young age, when you turn 18, you're out. That's what I was told. 18 years old, and you're out on your own, son. You better be ready for it. Sure enough, 18, I moved out. And I was bull riding for a while, and that is a little hard on your body. I did it for 3 years. I had 2 trainers. I was pretty good at it. But then I found a real job when I was about 18 and a half. And I'm going to leave it at that. But I started working my real job at 18 and a half. I got a job with Metropolitan Water District here in Southern California. I started working at this lake that's now built. It was built back or at least one of the dams were done in 95. But I started working at Diamond Valley Lake. And I worked out there for 21 years, and I'm going to leave it at that because I'm going to go through my what I did at work, where I started from. I started from the bottom, and I worked my way up to the top. But that's another day, another story. And hopefully you guys like it. This is my first podcast, so it's a little hard to get used to this talking to yourself thing. But it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of people that come over to my house that are intellectual, just really good, common sense people come to my house. And we love them all. So we're going to have different personalities on the podcast. Sometimes it'll just be me telling stories. But I hope you enjoyed the first real part of Room 3, getting to know me and where I come from, and that way you can kind of understand when I'm asking questions to these younger folk or maybe even some older folk, man. You know where I stand in life. You know, I work hard, you work hard, you play by the rules, and you too can get the American dream. That's what I was always told. So, and it's true. It is very true. But I had to work very, very hard to get where I'm at now. So you guys have a good evening, and I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's 15 minutes, 16 minutes long. I hope it's not too long for you guys, but I'll be posting more about my life after I write it. Like I said, this is the first time doing this stuff, and man, I got stories. I got a lot of stories working out there at Diamond Valley Lake I'd like to get to. It was a big part of my life, so 21 years, so. All right, guys, peace out. Please, please, please subscribe and like this, and hopefully I can get 50 followers so we can go live and start this podcast. All right, guys, peace out. Love your life, and like my daddy always said, 2 things. Life isn't fair, and it never will be. And you work hard, but party harder. Yee, yee. Later.